Still no Tammy, she's out shopping, so we'll just go ahead and rattle out some of these other Q&As. Let's have a look, where are we up to on this? Susan Brocksmith, who responds to a lot of this stuff. She's always got good information. We were talking about co-ownership. She's saying here, the owner has the full control of the dog, has full control over you, your dog, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, what she's saying here is, I'm gonna get it to a nutshell. If you co-own a dog, but somebody else physically has the paperwork, they're the one who legally owns the dog and determine what happens to that dog. There's a number of ways to do a co-ownership. One would be is that you both have your names on the AKC breed registration form. And so you both participate in anything that happens with that dog as far as registering puppies, change of ownership of that dog. You have to go through appropriate channels through the AKC with both of your signatures to make that happen. Doesn't mean somebody could forge your signature. And if they did, I'm not sure what would happen then, because I don't think the AKC is going to get in this fight at all. But the point, I think, is that if you are going to co-ownership a dog, I think you need to put, well, not I don't think, I know, you've got to get a contract put together. It doesn't have to be written up by a lawyer. I mean, maybe it would be more enforceable if it was, because you might make mistakes. But I think the important thing is that if you write a contract down, it then gets both parties to realize the way that they should behave. Because contracts are completely unimportant until things go wrong, i.e. somebody thinks somebody has misbehaved. So that's the point where you go back to the contract and you say, yes, but it says, if you're leaving out of state, you can't take the dog away without my permission. That would be an example of something that might or might not be in a contract. So the contract needs to spell out in detail all the things that you think might go wrong. Obviously things like, if we have puppies, who's paying for the vet bills? Who's paying for the C-section bills? Who's paying for the stud fee? Who's advertising the dog? Who's collecting the money for the puppies? How much are you getting? How much am I getting? Who's paying for the feeding of the dog? All of what happens if the dog dies? What happens if the dog gets run over or stolen? What happens if I don't want to do this anymore? Those are all things, just to mention a few, and they're not the only things, that absolutely should be in the contract. That is the secret to getting it done. And by the way, another word of advice, for me personally, I would never do, typically, I say never, you never want to say never, I typically would not do a co-ownership with somebody who was more than easy driving distance from me. Part of it is because I want to be able to take photos of puppies. And I can tell you that I have a big problem with people who co-own dogs with me with taking not very good photographs. And that really does make it hard to sell puppies if you can't take decent photographs. So what's the solution to that? Get in a car, get a camera, head there, take pictures. All right, enough of that one. Somebody TX Glorious Frenchie says, James, intolerant. I'm not sure if you're supporting me, which I hope you are, or you're just telling me that I am intolerant. I don't tolerate stupidity very well, I tell you that. Okay. Talking about worming here, Susan Brocksmith chimed in. Let me tell you what I do first. So I routinely worm all of my dogs with Safeguard every few months. I wait on dogs that are pregnant. I do a worming before they get pregnant, and then I start doing more wormings about a week before whelp and a week after whelp. That's what I do. Now let's see what Susan does. I personally deworm about a month before her heat cycle. I don't know whether you know what the heat cycle is, but I guess you can guess on that. She's using Marty Greer's protocol of deworming with Safeguard at the last 3 weeks of the pregnancy. So she's close to me. First 2 weeks of whelp. Yep. So, okay, there you go. And then she talks about deworming puppies with Nemex 2 at 2 and 4 weeks, which we do as well. And then puppies with Safeguard at 6, 8, and 10 weeks. So she's slightly different than me. Look, which is the right one? Who knows? I think that the answer is that you've got to realize that if a dog has worms, it does take some effort to get rid of it. And you don't just do a one treatment and expect it to go away. So if you do routine worming of your dogs and they've got good stools, you're probably in good shape. But whenever we use Safeguard, it's always for 3 days straight, and the dosage is 1 mil per pound of body weight. And we do that with mums before they give birth and after they give birth, because we don't want to pass that along to the puppies. And the puppies can pass it along through the milk, by the way. It's not like a worm that wriggles around. It's a little protozoa. Okay. Oh, here we go, Susan again. We just confirmed pregnancy of Boublier's puppies, and we're having Picasso puppies at the end of April. And Rango later this year. Well, Susan's used 3 of our dogs. Susan, you're a great person. We appreciate it. And you get great comments too, Susan. I always enjoy what Susan puts up here, because sometimes it's a little bit different than me, and that's great because I learn something from it. But it's never rubbish, and she's always very, what's the right word, sweet about the way she puts things down. Marino's vlog. Hey, my Frenchie hasn't got her first heat. She's almost 1 year old. Quite normal. Don't worry about it. Yeah. So people all the time say, oh, my dog hasn't had a heat yet. She's 1 year and 3 months old. Should I be giving her something to bring heat in? No, don't do anything. Just be patient, patient. You know, patience a virtue. She'll come in. It's very unusual for a dog not to have heat cycles that sometimes it's as quick as 6 months. Sometimes it takes 1.5 years, sometimes occasionally longer than that. The one thing that you can do to help bring a dog into heat is to house that dog with another female that's in heat. That really does work. There's nothing else that I really know of that's particularly effective in bringing a dog into heat. Okay, let's see. This is a sad one here, maybe. What's they got to say? Well, I just run. Darn it, I just got rid of the text. Where is it? Anna Lara, I can't even begin to tell you how much you helped me. I gave birth with a club feet and my heart sank. You gave me hope, helped me understand that it was most likely being crammed inside her. Oh, good. Well, I'm guessing what she did is she took my advice, taped the feet up and fixed it. I've seen puppies where their feet are completely backwards. And it's like, crap, you know, they come out and their feet are, you know, it's not going to work. Well, you start taping them up and bringing those feet back in with some tape, and before you know it, you've got a dog that's completely normal. Start early. Puppies, when they're born, in the first 2-3 weeks of their life, their bones are pretty pliable. They're not calcified fully. So absolutely, if you're going to get anything done with skeletal structure like flat chest or any of these things, get on it early. The earlier you get this on, I mean, no vets will tell you, oh, this dog needs to be put down. This dog's not going to make it. Baloney. Have a go at it. There are certain things that puppies aren't going to survive. The typical things that really are a death knell for puppies are significant cleft palates all the way in the back. Those dogs are very hard to get them to survive. You can keep them alive for a little bit, but typically they succumb to a sinus infection. You have to tube feed them all the time. And then, of course, you know, you've got dogs that are, you know, born with things on the outside, and those kind of things just aren't going to make it at all. So, you know, you've got a heart or intestines born on the outside. Yeah, I mean, with the intestines, maybe you can put them back in, maybe not, but probably not. Okay, Eve Stefanovic, and I've got FedEx showing up, so we're going to stop this. Bye, buddy. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate people who subscribe to me. It helps me, encourage me to do more of these videos. But do remember, disclaimer here, I am not a vet. I'm not a licensed medical professional. I'm purely a person who's been breeding dogs for the last couple of decades. Any information that you got from this video, use at your own risk. There's nothing implied here, and certainly this should not be used as a substitute for advice from your veterinarian or your medical professional. I hope you enjoyed the video. Come back for more of them. Bye.